Hi guys, Adam here again. Welcome to this final session, session 4. In this round, we're going to go through the little SEO tips that will help you to get found in the right searches. So as usual, I'm going to use my profile to demonstrate that. So let's jump straight in and get into it. All right, so here we are once again. So the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that you have a really good actual shareable URL. What I mean by that is this here. So by default, you'll find LinkedIn gives you a really average looking URL with a whole bunch of numbers and things on the end of it, but you can edit this. So the first thing we're going to do is go through on how you actually do that. And you come here to this section where it says edit public profile and URL. So you just click on there. As you'll see, it'll open up a new page for you. And here it is here. So all you got to do is basically click that link, change it to what you want, and then basically hit save. And you should be good to go. Now, of course, because it's a URL, it cannot be something that is being used by someone else. So it has to be unique. So if you have a name that a lot of other people have the same name, you might struggle to get something like mine, where it's mine, not a common name, Houlahan. So mine was easy. If that's the case, then you just have to be creative in what it is you're going to put there. Now, you could say put a hyphen between your so like Adam hyphen Houlahan or Brett hyphen Smith or whatever it is. But the main thing is get rid of all those awful looking numbers and things that LinkedIn have on there for you, and make it as clean and unique as you can. Now, while you're in this section, there's a couple of other little things you should do. So of course you want to have your profile publicly visible. No point in having a profile if nobody can find it. So make sure this is turned on. And of course have it so that it's I would suggest fully public. So don't use these ones here. This one would be is the basic one that's required, but you've got to select one of these four. I would highly recommend that you select public, and then make sure that everything is visible. If you don't want people to see it on your profile, don't put it on your profile. Go through and just click all of these, and you are very, very visible that way. The first thing, SEO 101 is make it easy for people to be able to find you. So anyway, that's the first part in your SEO journey. So get that part done. As I said, just save that, and then you should be good to go. You might need to just refresh your browser to have that take effect. Of course, the other thing I should say is if you do put something here and it's already taken, they'll tell you immediately. It'll come up and say that's already taken, and it'll actually give you some suggestions of other things. Whether you use the suggestions they give or not, it's up to you. But that's the key thing here is make sure you've got a nice unique URL, not all the awful stuff that LinkedIn gives you as your standard one. Okay, back to our profile now. Now, there are certain sections within your profile that LinkedIn is looking for to use as sort of like keywords. Now, you'll notice that we are in the summary and position descriptions. We didn't do any of the silly old stuff that you hear about called keyword stuffing, where you put lots and lots of repeat words or anything like that. Like for me, the old school way was to use the word LinkedIn expert a dozen times, so that LinkedIn saw that a lot and used it. That doesn't cut it anymore. But there are sections where they do use for that. Now, one of those is here where we were talking about your professional headline. So LinkedIn expert, you can see, and author, keynote speaker. They're the three kind of things I want to be found for in searches a lot. So that's why I've put them here, because I know that this section here is one of the sections that LinkedIn is going to use to pull searches or pull from my profile the type of searches that it's going to show me in. So this section, very, very important. The next one is your experience. Now, what I want to focus on is, because most likely you're not going to have a lot of these ones, but you will have one for your company or your business. Now, terms like CEO or general manager, these are kind of redundant terms on LinkedIn, because nobody search, well, unless they want to sell you something and they know that the CEO is the one to talk to, people don't really search for CEOs or things like that. Like in my case, you can see here, I'm using the words social media strategist and LinkedIn expert. Yeah, there's also, I've seen some things that, whilst they sound really cool and they look great on a business card or on your email signature, things like Chief Inspirational Officer, awesome title, but kind of redundant for use on LinkedIn. So make sure that your title that you use here is really the type of search that you want to be found for on LinkedIn. Now, as you can see, I'm being a little bit cheeky, and I'm doing two. The other thing I will say is, if you're really married to your title of CEO or general manager or whatever, doctor, whatever that is, then do that. Just put, say for example, you might put social media strategist and CEO. You can get away with doing something like that, but again, totally up to you. But just don't use quirky titles. Don't use common titles. Think of this as an SEO play, and how you're going to get found in the right searches, and whatever that search term is, that's the best thing to put here. All right, so moving on down, remember we talked about in the last one was around, again, the types of skills and endorsements that you have here. Now, these are really, really important. If you look at these on desktop, which we're looking at now, you can see it shows, say for this like published author, it says 99 plus. If you actually look at this on a mobile device, it will actually show you exactly how many times you've been endorsed for those particular skills. And it's not only on your own profile, you can go on anyone's profile and see that. So, for example, you go on mine and have a look here, and you'll see I've been endorsed for, as published author hundreds and hundreds of times. Now, the more that you are endorsed for those skills, the more LinkedIn is likely to show you in the searches for those. So again, in these top three, you can actually make up pretty much any type of thing to put in here, but you really do want, at least in the top three, you do want to use standard ones that LinkedIn uses that are closely matched with the searches. They may not be an exact match with the ones you use up above, but the more likely, most people are going to be use the standard ones that LinkedIn provides. So in this section, it is you do want to go with the masses and use the ones obviously that are relevant for you. So you can see for me, published author, LinkedIn, social media strategist, kind of align as closely as possible with here. LinkedIn expert, author, keynote speaker. Yes, you can only have three in this top section. So the other one where I'm trying to get that alignment is here, where I've got social media strategist. So so that one is aligning with this one. All right, now up to you. You can go in and fill out all the, you can put in all the rest of them if you want to, or you can just focus on your top three. What you will find though is that a lot of people will sort of endorse you for these particular skills. You can see here it says I've got 10 pending endorsements that I haven't accepted. That means people have endorsed me for particular skills that, you know, potentially are either not actually that relevant for me, or the thing is I've got, you know, all of these, as many as possible, filled out anyway. So that's the only reason that those ones sit there. All right, guys. So sorry to be scrolling through like this. So they're the key things as far as, you know, SEO and everything goes. Is make sure you've got a really good shareable link. Fill in these, you know, at least have the type of words you want to be found for in searches in this section here. In your position description, as we said, make sure you've got powerful search terms here. Don't use you know, quirky or kind of redundant terms, and make sure that you have at least these top 3 skills. Or, you know, the more the better, but the ones that most people will actually see on your profile and tend to endorse you for are the first 3. So make sure these are the best and most powerful 3 that are relevant to you. All right, guys. Well, that's that one's a short and sweet and easy one. But overall, there's a bit of work to do. But it should only take a few hours. Other than if you're going to use copywriters or graphic designers to help you. But it's not a difficult process, and I guarantee you, if you do that, you will be in the top few % of all profiles on LinkedIn. It'll make a huge difference to you know, how much LinkedIn shows you in searches. It'll make a huge difference to when people come across your profile, because they can very clearly, if you follow those frameworks on your summary and your position description and your background image, your elevator pitch, all that stuff that I've shared with you, it makes it extremely easy for people to make a decision that you are the type of person that they want to be connected with, and they're more likely to send you connection requests, more likely to accept connection requests if you're sending them to them, and more likely to reach out and say, hey, that's actually what I'm looking for as far as some sort of help I need. Can we have a conversation? And that's, at the end of the day, what this is all about. So I hope you found this process helpful, and look forward to seeing you more here on GeniusU.